Hello there, West in the world. It's Tuesday afternoon, October 14th. This morning, we had our first lecture on the era of the French, or perhaps better said, the Atlantic revolutions. In the evaluation forms that you all filled out, as I mentioned in class this morning, I heard a number of sort of specific concerns about pace of lectures and also about the sort of just the struggle to understand what I'm talking about. It's always been my goal to try to use these videos as the chief tool for providing an avenue that re-articulates the core points of the lecture in what I hope will be a more accessible way. But I'm going to try to really focus in on that in an even more precise kind of way in the coming weeks, and hopefully this will be of even greater benefit to you all. So this morning, the discussion of the era of Atlantic revolutions, which we mentioned the American War for Independence, the French Revolution. On Thursday we'll talk a little bit about the Haitian Revolution and others that take place in Latin America. We tried to frame this era and the issues that are at stake here as a debate between the idea of citizens versus subjects, or even perhaps more simply, a debate about the meaning of the word rights. What do we mean when we make reference to those rights? The shift that we are identifying, that is really the core takeaway from this time period, is a dispute about where these rights come from, who has them, and who, for that matter, has the ability to take them away. So one of perhaps the most important thing that you need to be able to do is explain the concept of rights and what it came to mean in this post-Enlightenment revolutionary era. And the shift here is from an earlier notion that rights were privileges given to certain members of society, to notions of rights as sort of existing regardless of privilege, regardless of status, being given to all people. And there are certain core words that are going to sort of crop up in this context to talk about these kinds of things. We heard John Adams, for example, emphasize the use of the word liberty as a basic right of people who lived in America. So this morning, we were concentrating on the events of the American Revolution. Why, for example, the Stamp Act was so offensive to their sensibility of what government was supposed to do. We talked also about the early stages of the French Revolution, about why the disputes over how to resolve the financial crisis of the French state give birth to a much more chaotic set of changes. And that's where we'll be continuing to place our emphasis on Thursday. But again, as you think about these things, make sure that you can understand, that you can explain the different meanings of the word rights. Make sure that you can articulate that notion of the contrast between citizens, people who participate, who have membership in the political life of a state, versus subjects, people who are ruled over by a monarch or other authority, usually understood to have been given that power by God. That, at its core, is the fundamental shift that this era of revolutions is really going to bring about. And what we'll see is that it becomes the enduring pattern of political thought as we move forward towards the 19th and 20th and into the 21st centuries. All right, that'll do for today. I will see you on Thursday morning, If you happen to watch this video before then, remember that class will be in Peavey Lecture Hall rather than our usual meeting spot in the Student Center. See you Thursday morning.